I'm joined once again by Brian Boom Kelleher, who's going to be taking on John Lineker at UFC 224 on May 12th. Brian, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, man? How is everything, James?
Everything's going well, man. It's good to catch up with you again. Now, were you at UFC Atlantic City this past weekend, or did you not make the trip?
No, I didn't make the trip because, training camp's pretty much, it's getting intense now. So I didn't want to miss any days.
Okay. But what'd you think of the card? Just as a guy who's got a fight coming up, I'm sure, seeing these other fights kind of gets you pumped up for your own.
Oh, yeah, I love seeing the fights. Like, I did go to the card that was here in New York. That was really good. Electric energy. I love that feeling. It gets me motivated after. That was a little bit further out from my fight. But Atlantic City was cool to see. There was some controversy, but there was some really good fights also. So it was nice.
Yeah, what did you think about that controversy, just quickly? Because that's in your weight class. Ricky Simone getting the win there. What were your thoughts, just quickly?
Yeah, I trained with Merab a couple of times leading up to that fight. He's a really nice guy, really good guy. So, I was a little bit biased. Like, I was on his side there. But it was just, it was frustrating to see because for him, I felt like he was moving his legs because he was trying to show that he was alive, he was good, and he wasn't out. But then at the end, it seemed to me like he looked like he was catching his breath, like he may have been out. But the ref never signaled like the fight was over. Just the bell went off and the fight was over. And I thought he won a decision. And I think the doctors made it look worse because they were like, hey, like, stay down, stay down. He went to get up a little, but they told him lay down. So it looked like he was more out of it.
Yeah, no, that's good to get the Boom take on that one. How's training camp gone? Has it just been sort of business as usual as far as, training with your brother and then obviously doing some cross training as well?
Yeah, business as usual. I've been, I don't spar too far out of my fight camp. So I usually get like 5 good spars in, but I do a lot of drill sparring also with my brother. So there's a lot of extra work there, but everything's good, man. I took off from momentum from that last fight, and I feel great.
Who have been some of your main training partners for this camp?
No one really specific, just everyone at Long Island MMA. We got Bermudez, Wade, LaFleur's there. He's like kind of a role model there. He owns the gym, but he's like a good teacher. He teaches a lot of the classes. And we had Aljo come through for his fight, and we had Merab also come through for the practices. So we have really good pro practices going on there Tuesday, Thursdays leading into this fight.
How's the cut going? And do you have to alter that a little bit just with the fact you're heading down to Brazil again?
Not really. To be honest, I haven't even checked my weight. It's actually crazy, but I stay away from the scale because I've said it before. It just kind of like it breaks me if I'm like 2 pounds heavier than I think I am. Like it just gets in my head. So I'm like, you know what? I just do everything right, and I feel lighter. Like I can look at myself and kind of tell. So I feel really lean. I feel in great shape. Everything's perfect. I'll probably check my weight in the next like 3-4 days just to make sure. But I don't really have to change anything. Brazil, the time zone's not too far off, so I'll be fine.
Do you have to bring anything with you for the weight cut heading down to Brazil? Just because I know the facilities are a little bit different.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I'm one that likes to work off the weight. I usually do workouts with layers on, like sweatsuits, and then if I do any extra things, it'd be like a hot tub or a hot bath after my workout just to keep the sweat going. That's usually how I do it. I know they have those little box saunas, and I used that for my last weight cut. That was the first time I tried that, and it actually really worked well for me. I like how it like cuts off your neck so you can breathe regular air. And that was my first time, so it was really cool. I'll probably use that towards the end when you're hurting more, but everything will be smooth.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
We got my dad, we got my brother Mac, and my striking coach Nabi.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you get a couple. I guess you have to fly someone extra down because I think they only give you, what, one
Yeah,
corner?
yeah, I gotta fly my dad and my striking coach Nabi, and then Mac he just gets taken care of. It's expensive. It's like $1,200 flights.
Wow. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
How?
Brazil kills me.
When are you getting down there? As far as when do you arrive?
We leave Monday, May 7th, I believe, and then it's an overnight flight. So we'll get in May 8th. We'll get into the Tuesday, and that's like when the fight week starts. They want us to sign all the posters and everything. So that's fine for me, though. That's what I did for my debut. So I've been through it already, which is nice.
How do you see this fight playing out on May 12th?
I have a really good feeling about the fight. I think I have more well-rounded skills. I think I have more tools in my bag to pull out for the fight. Lineker is obviously dangerous with his power punching, and he likes to come forward and throw a lot of heavy hook shots. But I'm well aware of it. I've done a lot of specific work with that with my brother, kind of imitating him. Even though he's a different body style, he does a really good job at knowing how other guys fight because he's a fan. So he's seen Lineker fight. He comes at me like that when we drill spar a lot. So I'm really prepared for what he brings to the table. But I'm not going to fight him scared like a lot of other guys and back up and just kind of try to cover up and take his shots. I'm going to push forward, and I'm going to use angles and movement and mix up my game, strikes and takedowns, and I think that'll get me the W.
Where do you feel like a win over Lineker puts you? Are you looking? I guess you're looking at that Marlon Moraes Jimmie Rivera fight.
Yeah, I'm really looking at that fight because I look at it like who's going to be ready to fight again in about August area, and those guys are fighting June 1st. So it makes sense to me that maybe with no injuries, hopefully that they'll be able to bounce back and fight August 4th. That's my vision. I'd like to fight on that card with TJ and Cody, and maybe either co-main event or maybe the third fight down on the main card, something like that. We'll have a really solid little bantamweight situation going on there because there's not many other guys open in the division. Everyone's taken up, and Aljo just called out Dominic Cruz, so that kind of ruined that for me. But who knows who Dominic Cruz is going to want to fight. He's also looking to just fight for the belt, so we don't know if he's going to take any fights below him. But I'm really looking at Moraes and Rivera. I think if that plays out, even if Rivera wins, if the title's held up a little bit and there's some time, me and him have some history, so maybe that works out too.
Interesting. Switching things up completely here, and this will be my last question. We've seen Ronda Rousey make the transition from mixed martial arts to pro wrestling. Is pro wrestling something you'd ever consider after your career's done, after everything's settled? Because you have the whole boom gimmick. You seem to market yourself really well. It seems like a pretty good transition for you.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It's so interesting you asked that because today I thought about that, and I've never thought about that in my life.
Oh, wow.
I was actually like, I wonder if I could do WWE. I have like a good character to me. Like I have the boom thing, like you were saying, because I'm constantly searching for what's after fighting. So I don't really watch WWE. I used to watch it back in the day when it was WWF. When I was young, I was like a huge fan. But I was like, you know what? Like that's something that's really fun. I'm really athletic. Like maybe I could work something out where I could try to get involved with that. That's definitely something I could look into.
Wow, I should buy a lottery ticket if you were thinking about that today. That's crazy. So
I swear on my life, I thought that today, and it was so random. I was like, what if I tried WWE one day? Like it's big money, you know what I mean? But I'm like, it's not a bad gig, but you have to travel a lot. That's the only thing that's hard about it.
That's true. Who are your favorite wrestlers growing up?
I love Stone Cold. Like I love that he was like that bad guy to the boss. Him and Vince McMahon, like that whole situation with them, that was always funny to me. Like I love seeing him come in and like crack the beer bottles and like just down beers and then just Stone Cold stun his boss. I love watching him. I love the Undertaker. Those were two of my top guys.
So, if you shave, the side of your beard and, maybe you come out in a vest sometime and maybe after the fight, if you get a Bud Light, I think they still sponsor the UFC, do one of those. I mean, it could work. You could even do it in the UFC.
Yeah, might have to do it with a Modelo. I don't know.
Oh, the Modelo. But... Yeah, that's right. That is the latest one they have. That's true. Although I don't know if it would have the same effect. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. If I shave the beard, though, you're right. I could pull it off with the bald
look. You'd be like mini Stone Cold. I think that could work.
Yeah.
So there you go. I like that. Interesting. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah,
so
man.
If you ever go to pro wrestling, we can always just point to this interview and say this is where it started. So
that's where it all started with James Lynch.
That's right, man. Well, in the meantime, everyone's got to check out UFC 224. It's coming up here May 12th. Brian, always appreciate the time, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, man, the floor is yours.
Yeah, social media, you got me at Brian Boom 135 on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook's just Brian Kelleher. And my sponsors, I actually have a new supplement sponsor that I didn't get the contract yet to sign the deal, but they've been sending me supplements, and I really like their stuff. It's called MHP, Maximum Human Performance. So thank you to those guys. We got the Float Place. We got Cryology. We got Harmless Fit that supply me with my meals, and that's about it.